guys, my name's Ellie. Welcome to my channel. My lighting is extra horrible today because it is late afternoon and overcast, but I'm getting ready to go to a concert with my boyfriend, and I had a whole plan to wear like an olive green dress and do like a olive smoky eye. Not doing that because I saw a video yesterday of Mariah Leonard doing a really gorgeous eye look with the new Jackie Aina Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and it was really, really pretty. But I'm also conflicted because I like Anastasia Beverly Hills formula. I haven't watched Jackie in a while, just kind of figuring out that not my content. She's fun, she's great, and I could watch some of her stuff, but when I realize how often I'm clicking past new uploads, and if it's like only watching one out of every 5, and even then not really fully engaging, I try to take myself out of it because it's gonna end up with me getting to a point where I realize I'm not watching anything of them, and then I see the uploads and I get annoyed. Some of it is just that we have very different makeup styles, and that's fine, but also, if we have different makeup styles, so I'm not trying to, like, see what you're doing and potentially use it as inspiration, or if you're not doing something, like, super out there that's interesting to watch, I'm a lot less likely to tune in, and I just kind of realized she was doing a lot of looks and using a lot of products that just didn't really do it for me, so I kind of stopped watching. But she's still very popular, and I do like the color story that they came up with in collaboration. It's very pretty. It reminds me of like the Modern Renaissance mixed with the Self-Made palette, which are two palettes that I like a lot, and I do really like supporting more unique collabs, because we see a lot of white, boring people doing collaborations, and then those products are geared towards that person's skin tone. I look extra pale in this lighting that I picked, but I would like to see, I don't know, more color stories and products for a variety of people, because I just want to see more of it. So, I am interested in the palette. I very well might buy it later, but I'm also trying to hold off a little while and use some things I have before jumping in and buying a whole nother palette, because I have a lot of makeup and I need to use a little more of what I have. Oh my god, where is that stupid brush I want? Do you ever have that time when something's hiding from you and you know exactly that it's in here somewhere? You keep seeing things that are almost it and then not quite it. Yeah, that's what was happening, and it was annoying me. So I have eyeshadow primer on. I'm putting down a beigey base color, but I really liked the look that Mariah came up with, and to tide me over from picking up the palette that I will probably pick up in a week or two anyway, I thought I'd try and dupe it, because I think I can. And then that'll kind of give me another look at reacquainting myself with some of these colors, because I've been doing a lot more browns and golds and very, very neutral creases, whereas looks like they did a really nice, like, warm orangey purple with a pop of duochrome green, which is not that out there for me, but should be quite pretty. And I want to see if I can recreate it. So I've got a plan. I'm thinking I can do most of the crease work with the Queen of Hearts palette. So I'm going to start with mixing this lovely orange Empress with royal prerogative. Sorry, it's very reflective. It's hard to read at an angle. I'm gonna mix those together for my crease. I'm gonna put Ladyship on my outer third, and then I have a lovely duochrome to put in for my crease shade, and it should be pretty quick. Mariah used ginger, which looks like a nice warm mid-tone orangey brown. This might end up a little more orange, but you never know. And I'm also, while trying to, oh, that looks quite nice, while trying to kind of like keep an eye on what I have and make my purchases a little smarter. Not just buying stuff because it's pretty, buying stuff that is unique, or at least are things I want to support and or use, and I do want to support a bigger variety of collaboration. I want to see more people that are diverse getting featured, getting collaborations, getting the attention for it, so. Especially from brands where I really like the formula, because I like most of the Anastasia Beverly Hills stuff that I have. Oh. So, that's what I'm trying to go for. But I'm also currently kind of trying to let myself pick up whatever is interesting me, and doing that as opposed to tying myself into more specific structured things like panning certain things, or just trying to do what is inspiring me and motivating me in the moment, as opposed to be like putting it off and never getting around to it, or wearing makeup that doesn't make me happy. So I had made a plan for Olive, and then I was like, ooh, let's do something else. And I kind of forget about purple with orange until I pull out some of these other palettes I have that are warm palettes with a pop of purple, because they moved it from warm tones with a pop of purple, which I consider purple to lean into the warm tones. Anyway, they kind of replace that with a pop of blue, and you don't see as many purples, which is extra silly because blues and purples would be nice and is a good way to tie that trendy blue tone into something by adding a purple that allows it to kind of tie in a little better. Not quite as out there as just blue on its own. Maybe I need to do blues and purples and oranges. That would be fun. That would be pretty. And this palette from Colored Rain is gorgeous, so I also just need to use that more. What am I gonna do for packing it on the outer corner? Because she left, I've been doing a lot of shimmers across all of the mobile lid, whereas Mariah Leonard left the matte purple there. So we're going with Ladyship next, and I just want to make sure I have a good brush for laying it down, because I'm very lazy about putting matte tones on the outer third. Because normally this is something where I would have like blended the purple into the crease in the outer third to half, where she mainly just popped it on the lid and kind of left the edges smoky. Well, that's not quite going how I'd like, so we're going to switch to a flatter brush. I'm going to go with this little flat pecky brush, so we can make sure that it really adheres. Yeah. That works wonderfully. I also had my friend over, and we had pancakes, which was lovely. Oh, it's a very pretty purple. And I knew that I liked purple with oranges. And I kind of forget. Just like I forgot how much I love teal and mustard until I did my look on Friday. That was a gorgeous look, in my opinion. I really like how it turned out. So yeah, I'm hoping to hold off because I have a purchase that I want to make I'll probably pick up the Sugar Pill Fun Size palette and the Jackie Aina palette together to save on shipping. But the Sugar Pill palette doesn't come to Ulta until the 23rd. Because I had to ask, because I keep forgetting which of the indie brands are now at places I can, like, use my points and, like, gather things and get free shipping, as opposed to just being like, oh man, it's out, I gotta buy it from the brand website. So I don't have to do that anymore, because there are brands that are carried in store. So I'm just gonna fudge the line, and then I'm gonna take a little bit on the lower lash line. Make sure that we have a nice blend. Yeah, because a lot of Mariah Leonard's looks, they're not always things I can follow along with. Sometimes she does some stuff like eyeglosses or things that I know aren't going to last long term on my face, because I need things to wear long term. If I'm putting makeup on my face, I don't want to touch it up a bunch of times. I want it to go on and be good for hours and hours. So I tend to watch her stuff and be like, that's pretty, I'm never gonna do that. Or that's pretty, how can I, like, trick it to actually be long wear on my face? I think she's one of the people that, like, really likes eyeglasses, which the eyegloss look is pretty, but I can't. I could not deal with something that goopy and wet on my lid. And the fact that it would, you know, break down as soon as you start blinking. I would be sad real fast. Okay, so that's looking about where I wanted it to be. And then we're going into the fun stuff. I have, not in this one, maybe in this one? Oh, which one was it? Ooh, that's a good question. Good question. Shit. I have two of these palettes from Clean Out Cosmetics that have duochromes. And I didn't really remember which one I wanted to use. I remembered that I had Wormwood, but I also have Toadstool? Yeah, Toadstool, which I think is closer to the actual duochrome. I think Wormwood is a really, really pretty blue-brown, whereas Toadstool is actually closer to the kind of browny green that is in the palette. So we're going to go with, yeah, Toadstool. This super, super gorgeous metallic brown to green. I'm picking it up, not with this brush, I don't like this brush. I like this brush, just not for what I want to use right now. This one, kind of fluffy, keep it a little bit more soft. These Cliana shadows are extremely pigmented, and I think part of the effect that Mariah got was in putting it on a little softer and a little sheerer. So let's just get it on there. That's what we got going on. And then kind of fudging the edges. Whereas I think I took the purple further in than she did. Which, that's my fault. Yeah. pretty. And kind of making sure we don't lose the purple. Yeah, so this, she called it mood ring eyes. I don't think it's quite as shifty, but it does have a lot of different things happening, which I appreciate. I also just really like any excuse to bring out the duo-grown palettes from Clean Out Cosmetics because they are gorgeous. They're gorgeous, they're super pretty, I love the formula, I love the colors they picked, and they were expensive, so I gotta use them to justify their existence in my collection. I like how it turned out. I also want to go in and use this one. I think this is Eye of Newt. This limey gold shifty color on my inner corner. I don't really think she did anything on her inner corner in her tutorial, but I like an inner corner highlight. And I do remember Eye of Newt playing really well with her Toadstool. We can keep that. That'll be fine. The other reason I'm kind of holding off on buying more palettes is because if I buy them, I will want to review them for this channel, and I'm still less than halfway through just wearing the Clean Out Cosmetics glitter multi-chrome bundle. I've worn 10 of them. There are 13 left. So I really need to step up my game on that and make sure I can get those done before I distract myself with something else and never finish it, like plenty of other things I've done. Okay, so let's just soften the edge of everything. I've also had an issue with the corner of this eye watering a lot, so we're just going to ignore it and move forward. Yeah, that is, I think, a damn good attempt at duping that eye look. I'm going to finish up the rest of my face, and I'll be back with the whole look. The light's getting even worse, so I don't really know if I have a better place to show you the finished look. Let me see what I can do, but definitely corner of the eye has been watering the last couple days, so we're just gonna ignore that section and look at that. That corner's so much nicer. That helps. Different window. But yeah, I really like how the eyes turned out. I think I did a good job getting a similar effect to what Mariah Leonard pulled off. I do want to go sit down again in the dark corner and discuss the palettes that I used, because they're pretty, but also I'm holding this up and my arm will get tired. But yeah, I thought you might want to see how the actual look turned out. And again, fucked up corner where my eye's been watering and won't stop, but everything else is nice. I also put on a highlighter from one of the Clean Out palettes. So let's go talk about what I used. I know, pretending that what I used is somehow different than what you saw me put on my face 5 seconds ago is silly. But what I wanted to more address is how useful some of the things are. This gorgeous set of colors that you cannot see very well because it's shittily lit in my room now because of the overcast sky, which my concert is outside, so I'm really hoping this all just passes by. It's fine. This is a really, really gorgeous, useful, versatile color scheme. You have the mattes and the purples for the those more popular color stories that have come out, like the modern Renaissance dupe type things with mauves, with purples, with those leaning into the reds but still being kind of soft. You've also got that bright ass orange that handles most of what you want out of the warm palettes. A lot of what I want in palettes is framed by colors like this. Nice browns, oranges, mauves, matte purples, and then it's like one or two pops. And so if you have something like this that really trims down what you have to purchase in order to make the same look as a lot of other palettes. So having something, knowing you have what you basically want out of those, and then either buying one color or something like that, or just making it work, because the duochrome's gorgeous, but I could probably still get that type of effect by layering two shadows, or like laying a highlighter over it, because pretty much everybody has a lot of those duochrome highlighters, and just putting those over other eyeshadows will give you a lot of the effects of duochromes. And these Cliona palettes, they're gorgeous. I only used the one. I brought both over, but I only ended up using the one, which is this one. These are gorgeous colors. These are fantastic. These are great to pop in if something goes up and I'm like, ooh, what do I want? I have something. I have something like it. And I've used these before when I've been like, ooh, you know what I want? I want the thing. And I'm like, wait, I think I have that. And I go and I pull it, and it's in one of these. So a lot of these you can also buy as singles. So like if the one thing you wanted out of the palette was the duochrome, you can find that duochrome either with Cliona Cosmetics, with ColourPop, with some brand that sells singles and has ventured into duochromes. Somebody somewhere has it. And I think pulling these out and using these more unique shades in other colors and other palettes and stuff, because some of these are gorgeous, like this purple with the gold shift, this really weird, that's not one, this one. It's like a blue toned silver with a antiqued gold. They're gorgeous. They're super pretty. They're super fantastic. They do a lot to draw attention to things and looks they don't normally do. Same with this other palette. It doesn't look cohesive as a palette itself, which it isn't. These are all shimmers. These are not going to make a full look for most people. But stuff like Wormwood, that's gorgeous. That's what a lot of people want out of things. This one, I think it's Aquafortis, is fantastic. I love these. I did 1 month 1 palettes with these, I believe, or just reviews, but they were gorgeous. They're fantastic palettes. The highlighters are also super fantastic. What did I use? Yeah, I used Enchantment, which is this pink with a flash, and it blended super well into my blush while leaving a very nice sheen, which you can't see because my lighting is horrible. But yeah, being able to pick out what... Something's happening downstairs. Being able to pick out, from looking at something that's tempting you, what things are not super unique, because there's a lot of things in palettes and color stories that are just filler. The mid-tone browns, the dark purple, stuff like that. A lot of those are really common because they are the things that allow you to use the duochromes and the other things and make them more complicated looks, but a lot of them are framed by pretty standard colors that most people already have. And then picking out what the things are, because for the Jackie Aina palette, the duochrome stood out to me, the purple stood out to me, and the rest looked like nice, really like mid to deep mattes. And like the shimmers looked pretty standard. I'm sure I have something similar in my collection. So if you are trying to buy less or try to shop your stash more, you can do that. I think being less in the excitement of it, because seeing it and being like, oh, that's so pretty, I like it, and riding that excitement all the way to purchasing and receiving something, versus being excited, taking a step back, looking a little bit more critically about what is exciting you about the palette, what you actually like. Even if it's not being able to dupe everything in a palette, being able to like, well, I'm mainly interested in these 3 shadows of it, and I can buy one, I have 2 in my collection, or I can do a facsimile of it, something that's close enough that you don't need the exact shadow in that palette. It's good to do, good to practice. I will still probably pick up the palette because I like it, and I want to encourage different collabs. we see a lot of collabs that are just very boring. Like, honestly, most of what Tarte's been doing collabs for, a lot of them are just lifestyle bloggers that are pale, blonde, boring. So when we see something that not only is an interesting collab, and an interesting or more interesting color, story and whatever, something that's different, something that's newer, because we have so much access to every single release from every brand, whether big, small, you know, it's a lot, and it's making everything feel a lot more monotone, where, yeah, if this was, you know, released with fewer other items around it, it might look super unique, but we have a lot of this now. It's becoming a lot easier to see every option for colors and color stories and palettes and formulas. That it's no longer, oh, this is the only time I'm going to see this duochrome, or this is the only time I'm going to see this purple, or whatever. So you gotta start picking what you want to support, and I want to support different things. Different varieties of people, different everything. I just want more options. I want more interesting options, hence why I'm getting the Sugar Pill Fun Size palette, because those look really cool. They look like sneaky brights, if that makes sense. They look like the kind of colors where in a palette altogether, yeah, that's probably going to make some looks that you can't really get through the office dress code. But picking them out and adding one or two into a look, you can do some colorful but sneaking through the dress code type looks. And I'm very excited to try this out. And I want more Sugar Pill, because I want to support Sugar Pill more. So, this was a long and weird video for you guys. I'm sorry. Thank you for sitting all the way through it. And let me know if you're excited. Are you picking up either of those palettes? The one that I, duped a look from, and the one that I just talked at you about. And I will, if I haven't already put Mariah Leonard's video in the tags, she should also be linked in my description, unless I failed miserably and entirely forgot what I was doing with this video. Yeah. But yeah, it's a nice mix of colors, some stuff that I might not have thought of, but was gorgeous, and that's another reason. Just because I have all the things doesn't mean I have them all in the same palette in a way that will inspire me to use them together. So, encouraging the mix and match across your collection. I will see you next time. Wish me some luck that the weather passes and I get to go to my concert tonight.